Welcome back to the channel, PJoeP Sermons on Two Wheels. Today we're talking about something that affects every one of us, friendship. But not just the feel-good, hangout kind. I wanna talk about how friendships shape who we are and what it means when they fade, disappoint, or disappear. But before we jump in, let's anchor this in a powerful truth from John 15:15. Jesus tells his disciples there, "I no longer call you servants, instead I have called you my friends." Now that's a big deal. God, the creator of the universe, calls us friends. And yet so many of us are still chasing after someone who will never leave, someone who truly sees us. If you've ever longed for a best friend forever, a BFF, and wondered why it's so hard to find, then this one's for you. So right now, I'm 50 years old, a very young 50, I promise you I am. But when I look back in my younger years, especially back when I was like 21, I had lived in 15 different homes in my first 21 years. That's right, 15. It's no wonder I had a hard time finding lasting friendships. But that doesn't mean I never had any. I had friends all along the way. And some of them even helped shape who I am today. So with that, let me take you back to when I was much younger. Some of the first group of friends I had back on a street that we lived on in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Now I was a kid, maybe 6 or 7 years old, living in a modest duplex at the end of the block. That's where I met, well, one of the first friends there, Ginger. Now Ginger was unforgettable. Not because she and I were the best friends, but because she never gave up on trying to be one. Ginger had this wild red hair, freckles, dirt on her face, and the strangest habit of eating raw bell peppers like they were apples. And she followed me and my brothers everywhere. We teased her, we ignored her, we told her to go away, but she always came back, always wanted to be part of the fun. I look back now and I wonder what would have happened if we had just accepted her a little bit more. Then there was Matt. Matt was my best friend in the 4th grade. We played football, we collected Cabbage Pail Kids stickers and sock box for fun. Yes, socks boxing. We'd slap each other silly with our dirty socks and think it was the best thing ever. Until one day I got too aggressive. I made another kid cry. And then Matt called me out. I got mad. And just like that, our friendship ended. And before we could make up, my family moved back to Korea. I tried finding him years later, and I even left a note at his old house many years later after I graduated from college, but I never heard back. I don't have many regrets in life, but that's one of them. So maybe that's why I've grown cynical about the idea of BFFs. Best friends forever rarely last forever. People grow apart, they change, they move. What'd you do? I've had friends who showed up for me, in college, in my early professional days in Seoul, at the courts during high school, basketball courts that is, and I've had friendships that faded into digital silence, reduced to an occasional like on social media. But that doesn't mean I'm cynical about friendships altogether. Relationships matter. Friendships shape us, sometimes in ways we don't even realize until years later. Like for instance, take Randy. He was a kid down the street from us in Tennessee. He taught me how to steal candy. I mean literally. He handed me a pack of Big League Chew bubblegum one day at the drugstore and said, "Hey, my aunt works here. Don't worry, just take it." So I did, and that was my introduction to petty crime. Now, I don't know if it was a good influence on me, but then there was another kid. There was Brian. Now, he was the coolest blonde-haired kid in the neighborhood. He had a video game console and he wore nice clothes. We didn't do anything extraordinary together, but he was my best friend. When we left Tennessee, I was heartbroken to leave my best friend behind. Now, maybe you've had friends like that when you were a kid. People who made you laugh, who made you feel accepted, who brought out something in you that you didn't even know was there. And then then they were gone. And maybe you've also had friends who changed you in darker ways, who led you into trouble or left you wounded. That's the thing about friendships. You know, they're powerful. They can shape your identity for better or for worse. Now, let me pause here and say, if this resonates with you, I'd love for you to like this video and subscribe to the channel. I've got more bike rides and stories coming your way, stories about life, faith, and identity, and I don't want you to miss a thing, alright? So here's the point, here's the thing. We all long for belonging. We want someone to know us, accept us, laugh at our jokes, stand by us when we're a mess, and still want us around. We crave that kind of friendship where we can just be ourselves without fear. But real friendships are messy. People let you down. You let them down. That's just how it goes. Which makes John 15:15 even more astounding. Jesus says, I have called you friends. Think about that. Jesus isn't just your Lord or Savior. He wants to be your friend. The kind who doesn't ghost you, who doesn't flake, who doesn't leave when things get awkward or hard. He's the one friend who's always been there for me, even when I didn't recognize it, even when I was chasing other friendships, even when I was trying to figure out who I was. I used to think I was missing out because I didn't have a best friend forever. But now that I think about it, maybe God didn't want me to be molded by just one person. Maybe He wanted to form me through many experiences and many people. Maybe He wanted me to learn that no one person can carry the weight of being your everything, but He can. Looking back, I see how each friendship, even the painful ones, gave me a piece of the puzzle. They helped me see what I valued, who I was becoming, and who I didn't want to become. And ultimately, they pointed me to the one friend who was never left, and that's Jesus. So, if you're searching for that one person who will never walk away, if you're longing for a sense of identity but you've been hurt, abandoned, or just lost, I want you to know this. Jesus is not just a savior. He's a friend. And that makes all the difference. By the way, if any of these stories resonate with you, I share a lot more in my memoir, Who I Am, a memoir of an American Korean in search of identity. It's available on Amazon in paperback and Kindle, and also on the Kyobo online bookstore if you're in Korea. So I'd love for you to check it out. Thanks again, guys, for joining me on this ride, and let's keep pedaling forward through stories, through faith, through life. See you guys next time.